Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and today's video is going to be a fun one. Today marks the return of Ike the Bot to the channel. The last time he was featured here, he was running a Lick Obstagoon in the Open Ultra League, and today he returns, this time with a Fire Blast Groudon in the Classic Master League. And not only that, he's also running a Hyper Beam Melmetal. This man is on a mission to run some off-meta movesets and try and make them work. Now these movesets are definitely more meme than practical, but they should result in some fun battles. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and let's take a look at the team in action. Alright, hopping to the first match, very nice lead, Melmetal into Dialga. As you notice, he does of course still carry Superpower, which is ever important in a meta that is absolutely defined by Steel types. Able to connect with the first, and the Dialga throws. This could be a Thunder, so opting to shield it up, unfortunately just the Iron Head bait. Now he can overfarm almost to 2 superpowers and will be able to throw the second here. Second superpower does connect, down goes the Dialga, in comes the Giratina, and he absolutely has to pivot out of here, as with Superpower and Hyper Beam, Melmetal cannot touch Giratina. Giratina connects with the Shadow Ball, brings in the Togekiss, and now just has to get to the Fire Blast. There is no way this Togekiss is expecting the Fire Blast, and it lands! Oh my goodness, the damage! Holy crap! That does absolutely huge damage. Togekiss will be able to Flamethrower, but from here, Garchomp should be able to close out this match. So you can see Garchomp is running Dragon Tail and Sand Tomb, so that combination should be enough to take care of the Giratina. Able to connect, and now it's a tough baiting game. Opts to let it go, correctly calls the ominous wind, and that is a good game. So right away in game 1, Fire Blast paying dividends. Alright, hopping into the next match. Absolutely horrendous lead. Giratina going to save swap into the Groudon and baits out Conkeldurr. Now, Conkeldurr is not one that you typically see in the Master League, so pretty cool to see it. But honestly, in this matchup, you're seeing why it isn't often used, as these non-stab Dragon Tails are absolutely tearing through this Conkeldurr. Able to get it into the red, throw another Fire Punch, and Groudon will be able to flip Switch here if they decide not to shield. Switch has been flipped, which is absolutely huge. One big downside to Fire Blast is obviously if you're matched up against the Giratina, you have nothing to hit them with. Those Dragon Tails still did a nice amount of damage, and now able to bring in the Dragon Tail Garchomp. Now Garchomp will have to tank the move here, Shadow Ball hurts quite a bit, and they have a Melmetal in the back, and he is running a double ground moveset, going for the Earth Power. Earth Power lands! That does huge damage, switches into his own Melmetal, basically just to use it as a damage sponge. First superpower comes through, second superpower is not going to be enough to take out his Melmetal, and from here he's in a very comfortable spot where he's able to farm down, gets to the superpower, definitely not going to want to try and build up to the Hyper Beam, able to get the shield. Giratina is able to farm down, Garchomp able to get the Dragon Tail through, so all he has to do is shield, the damage will register, and that will be a good game. Alright, hopping into the next match. We have Melmetal into Togekiss. So again, another situation where it would be really nice to not have Hyper Beam. They save swap into the Giratina and opting to bring in the Groudon. And again, we're seeing Fire Blast, a fun move to have if you encounter a Togekiss, but if you're lined up against the Giratina, it can get a little rough. Able to call the ominous wind there, very nicely done. Over farming quite a bit, and this should be another ominous wind yet again. Shields it up. Oh, and they get the boost. Oh, that is not looking good. He is going to be forced to throw. Throwing the Fire Punch, gets the shield, throwing the second Fire Punch, recognizing the importance of switch advantage. The opponent double shields, tries to farm down, but they're unable to. Groudon holds on with 1 HP and now has switch advantage and shield advantage. In comes the Melmetal. Now Melmetal building up to the Hyper Beam. In comes Garchomp and going to be going for the Hyper Beam onto the Garchomp. Hyper Beam lands, does a nice chunk of damage. In comes his own Garchomp, and the opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. Hopping into the next match, bit of a tough lead, Melmetal into Excadrill. Definitely have to watch for the drill runs here, as those will be doing massive super effective damage. Opting to commit the shield, and will probably try and build up close to that back-to-back superpower. Now he does have 2 ground types in the back, so it should be pretty easy to pivot out of here. Able to get the shield, going to connect with the second superpower, then my guess is we'll see a safe swap. And now, safe swaps into the Groudon. Groudon, of course, is going to be able to take these drill runs a lot better. And the opponent brings in a Lugia, and now this is time for Fire Blast. Going for the Fire Blast. No way Lugia is expecting it. Fire Blast lands. Oh my goodness, that does almost 2/3 of Lugia's health. That is one of the bulkiest Pokemon in the game. Oh my. And now bringing in the Melmetal, trying to Thunder Shock down, which is a very tough ask, as Lugia is so tanky. Aeroblast connects, and that does big damage, and they unfortunately get an attack boost, but Melmetal able to farm down, leaving with so much energy. In comes Kyogre, going straight for the Hyper Beam. Hyper Beam lands, and now brings in the Garchomp. Now Garchomp, these Dragon Tails are really starting to add up, but so are the Waterfalls. Shielding up the Surf. Can they farm down here? Yes, just able to farm down. The Excadrill still alive in the back, but Garchomp will be able to reach 2 Sand Tombs. They had thrown their energy before switching out. Their energy dry, not able to reach a drill run, and the back-to-back Sand Tombs will take out the Excadrill, and that is a good game. Alright, hopping into the next match. Again, a very nice lead, Melmetal into Dialga. The opponent is going to save switch into Kyogre. Doesn't have a really great counter to Kyogre, so I like the decision to get some chip damage with the superpower before you bring in the Garchomp. Unfortunately, the Garchomp is now at an energy disadvantage, so this Kyogre will be able to reach a second Surf before it goes down. So my guess is we'll probably see the shield come up here, which we do. Farm down, so then they can threaten the Dialga with the Earth Power. Dialga comes back in, and with Melmetal in play, they probably won't protect it. Earth Power lands, does big damage, and now things are looking pretty good. You can probably just come straight into the Groudon here. Brings in the Groudon, they have Excadrill in the back, and things are looking very nice here, as Excadrill, even when facing a Dragon Tail Groudon, does not particularly like to see it, and the opponent concedes the match. Alright, hopping to the next match. Oh no. And there's a Ho-Oh on the lead, and this is when spicy movesets go wrong. And now, trying to bait with a superpower, accidentally lets an Incinerate through, and now catches onto the Groudon. So spicy movesets can be fun, but there's always risk with it, as unfortunately, this team has absolutely nothing for Ho-Oh and has to eat a Brave Bird. Dialga comes in, Groudon not going to be able to reach the Fire Blast and has to opt for the Fire Punch, which will do a lot less damage. In comes the Melmetal, and the switch clocks are misaligned, which hopefully he will be able to take advantage of here. Going for the superpower, that'll take it out. Ho-Oh comes right back in, and the Ho-Oh still switch locked in here. So this is a really good opportunity, especially if they Brave Bird here, which they do, and now you just have to try and farm this down. Their defense is lowered, they're locked in, the opponent with a huge misplay, able to take advantage, but they have Yveltal in the back, and he's running a double ground Garchomp. So at this point, just trying to do as much damage as possible with these Dragon Tails, throwing the 2 Sand Tombs to lower the defense. Focus Blast does big damage, and now switches into the Melmetal, gets to the 2 superpowers, but they're at a move. This is just the Dark Pulse. Is this enough to KO? The Melmetal survives on 1 HP, and going to go for the back-to-back superpowers. Their defense is lowered, so this superpower will be enough to KO, and able to come back from an incredibly terrible lead and get the win. All right, hopping into the next match. Melmetal into Giratina, horrible lead, going to save swap into the Groudon and baits out a Lugia. And I believe he mentioned that the Lugia counter swap was what he was targeting with Fire Blast, as normally they would never shield from a Groudon. Fire Blast lands, does so much damage, oh my goodness, and now he's shielding up, correctly shields the Aero Blast. He is making a play for switch advantage. Can he farm down? He can. So able to correctly shield the Aeroblast, farm down, and flip switch. The opponent has a Togekiss in the back, and now going for the Fire Punch. Oh no, they didn't shield. He definitely thought that they were going to shield, expecting the Fire Blast. They did not shield. That is unfortunate, so we do not get to see the second Fire Blast land. In comes the Giratina, and the Dragon Tail Garchomp will put in so much work here. Opting to let it go. Just an ominous wind, very nice call. And I believe this should be another ominous wind. The opponent fishing for the boost desperately. They get the boost. Oh my goodness, Garchomp still able to farm down with Dragon Tail. And now he just has to start sand tombing this Togekiss. Able to get the shield. Oh no. And the opponent with a Togekiss on a Garchomp concedes the match. You love to see it. All right, hopping to the next match. Very nice lead, although there's a weak connection, so that's definitely not what you want to see. Builds up to the beam, goes for the bait. That's unfortunate. Would have loved to see the beam there. Goes for the superpower, and now brings in his own Groudon. Tough call to make. Shields up and correctly shields the Earthquake. That is very nice. And I believe this should just be a Fire Punch. So they threw, probably expecting that he was going to throw. He decides not to, and he's able to farm down. He leaves with a ton of energy, and that Togekiss is unlikely to shield with the Melmetal in play. Back in comes the Togekiss, going for the Fire Blast, and Fire Blast lands, does so much damage, able to reach a Fire Punch, and if they let this go, this Groudon is actually able to KO a Togekiss. Oh my goodness, they have the Giratina in the back, and Garchomp is here to absolutely sand tomb their life away. Again, going for the ominous win, hoping for that boost to save them, but all they're going to get is a lower defense stat, courtesy of Sand Tomb, and the opponent again concedes the match. All right, hopping to the next match, we have Melmetal into another Togekiss. Again, pretty nice lead, but would definitely prefer to have the Rock Slide here. Going for the superpower, able to get the shield, very nice, and now going to bring in Groudon. My guess is we may not see them expend the second shield, so this is probably a fairly safe situation to Fire Blast. Although that Snorlax does have a pretty decent energy lead. Come on, going for it, opting not to throw it, going for the Fire Punch instead. Fire Punch, oh, I stand corrected. They actually do shield. I would not expect them to double shield, but I guess they're recognizing that they absolutely have to win switch in this situation. They switch in the Togekiss aggressively, but now it's switch locked into the Melmetal, and Melmetal able to get off this Hyper Beam. Hyper Beam will be doing a lot of damage, but it's only neutral. Oh my goodness, that did way more than I was expecting. Togekiss going for the Aerial Ace, so not able to get to the Flamethrower there, or maybe not running Flamethrower. Either way, that's a move you definitely want. And this is bad news for this Melmetal. Again, another reason why you desperately need Rock Slide against the Giratina, forced to go for the double resisted superpower. That is pain. And now switches into the Garchomp. Now for Garchomp, you definitely want them to stay in here as long as possible so you can hopefully start debuffing their defense, make your Dragon Tails do more and more. The opponent actually switches out into the Snorlax, and they had some saved energy. So they will be able to get to the Body Slam. Now you really can't let them get to 2 here, so opting to throw the Sand Tomb, undercharge it, and still able to get 2 Dragon Tails. And able to get to the Sand Tomb. That is absolutely huge. Sand Tomb comes through, lowers the defense, and the opponent concedes the match. So all in all, some very fun battles. I would absolutely not recommend running Fire Blast on Groudon or Hyper Beam on Melmetal. These are definitely more just fun battles, exploring different possibilities in Go Battle League. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.